Welcome, everyone, to the World Session. This is for April 22nd, 2025. As you can see, I am back in Canada, nice and cold, already wearing, sweaters. We are also in the waning crescent right now, so lots of letting go. So hopefully this will really help everyone out to release the when, let's say, we over control or we have lack of control. So I don't find that I necessarily over control other people, but I definitely over control myself. And I know a lot of people who over control other people and over control themselves are all different variations on the way you're going to do this. So we don't, what we're looking at is to be able to get the gut brain to more healthily discern when we need to control ourselves. And this is more about a trigger, a catalyst, something that is said that throws us immediately into perceived danger. We might not be in danger. We might not be in danger, right? There's no physical danger, but there can be this sense that the body, when it goes into overdrive. So if you're insulted, if someone says, I told you so, or someone says, oh, you've said that before, because these things that become or are catalysts to actual fight flight mechanism. This is what we want to work with. And it's very difficult when we go into fight flight to calm ourselves down. So what we want to do here is give a few. I started it last week where we do that breathing. Breathing is critical. So the moment you have something that triggers you, this is something you can practice, is to inhale, hold it, inhale again, hold it, and let go. Now, if you're doing this while someone is triggering you, you don't want to start going, some people will do it that way. No, you're going to trigger the other person and now you're going to be in a big fight. Okay. You don't want to do that. What you want to do is be able to breathe imperceptibly or just enough that gives you a pause before you continue. Okay. So that you have self-control. I like this even for if I'm really scared about where I'm walking, because I still have a little bit of imbalance. There's some days where I'm super great. I feel like I'm, in great condition, and I go and I'm walking in. And there are other days where one of my legs doesn't work as well. And I keep going, but I'm a little clumsy. I'm a little awkward, and I get a little scared if I trip or the leg won't do what I want it to do. So I use it for those moments as well, so that I can just kind of go, okay, this is happening. You're taking care of things. You've got this control. But if I don't breathe, I start to panic. So I do this simple breathing, giving myself a moment to pause even my thoughts. So subsequently, a thought can come that is going to be helpful. That thought has to come from the gut brain. It can't come from the urgency of the moment. So if somebody triggers you, they've insulted you, what is it that you want to do? Well, usually you want to get them back. We often hear ourselves saying, "Oh, I should have said," oh, or this is my favorite. Why does it take me so long to figure out a response? Well, because your system is in overload. It's in fight flight. You don't have any control over yourself. And usually you want to retaliate rather than communicate. You want to retaliate rather than communicate. So we don't want to retaliate. Why not? Well, we're out of control. And if we retaliate, you don't win. You never win. Even if you win in that moment, especially with a loved one, you're going to end up feeling guilty. And if you feel guilty, well, you haven't won, obviously. And you're going to, like, one of the things I was reading is that If you get the last word in a discussion or argument, you're going to be the one who loses because you're the one who has to go and apologize. The one who has the last word is the one who has to apologize. So you never want to be the one who has the last word. You just want to be able to communicate. So let's see how we can do that a little bit more effectively by gaining some control over the fight flight mechanism. Now, that mechanism can be your adrenals, but it also can be up here in the amygdala complex. So, what we want to do for this start here is to get the breath. And while I focus, you can focus too on the amygdala complex. And we'll also drain fear from the kidneys for when those moments come that we have, that each and every one of us has this fight flight mechanism beginning. Adrenals and the amygdala complex. We're getting all of these neurological and connections, connecting also to tissue and the elicitation of adrenal cortisol. That's going to happen, but also the excitatory system of the nervous system. And now we want to create a pathway with our breathing to be able to calm it down. And that in our breath is communication. In that pause with our breath, we are communicating. So you're triggered, you take that breath, hold it, and exhale gently. And that is communication. You're relaxed, you're in control. And then see what comes up, whether you have something to say or you don't. Rather than going to the age-old idea, well, I need to be fast. I need to think of a retort. No, you don't. Your objective in the moment is to get a handle, to get control over yourself. Good. So now I'm going to bring this down into the gut brain, because the gut brain can make the beautiful decision for you so that we get this to be automated. I haven't quite automated it yet for myself, but I'm hoping today that this is really going to bring automation to the breathing. So the moment I'm triggered, I can get that breathing going. It's already, I can attest to, it's already working for me. But now I want to make sure that there's two things going on. I didn't ask the group this, but I'll work with it anyway, because it's coming up. Is resignation is a decision, right? I just give up because I can't deal with this person. I'll just give up, which is a terrible way to do things. And the other option could be I'm going to snap or I'm going to yell. We're going to work between those two so that we come to, let's say, diluting those two to no, I don't like that. I don't like that. It's finding a new space between the two extremes of I'm going to hyper react or I'm going to resign myself. We want to have something that still feels like I'm standing up for myself. I have courage. And even if courage is in my silence. And when I'm ready to, whenever the body's ready, whenever the mind's ready, rather than saying it should have been done at that point. That is a terrible way to dismiss oneself as though I should have done it when you're already in fight flight. That's the first thing you need to manage. So let's use an imagery here for a moment. So let's say we're in an accident, we're all fall on the ground. Some people's legs are broken, some people's hurt their head, and everybody turns around to the person who's bleeding from the skull and their brains are coming out. You need to go and call an ambulance for us because you're the only one with a phone. like, that would be absolutely ridiculous. So that's the same thing. I know it's strong imagery, but that's what we do to ourselves. When we're triggered, we do not look and say, first, I need to get this body to calm down so that I can be in my experience without going off into fear, and then it exacerbates, especially when I think I have to have an answer. I should, instead of, hey, wait. So it's another approach to something I've said for a really long time. Put yourself first. Take care of yourself first. Right? That's what you need to do first. So now don't think too much about kids. We know that as a mom or a dad, or you have a child, the child is part of you. So even if I go out with my nephews, my nephew would be part of me. He is not able to care for himself. So my priority is going to be us, and I will take care of him, and I will discern what needs to be taken care of. He might lift me off the ground. You never know, even if it's a little tiny thing. He might help take care of me, but we understand that they are an extension. It's not put yourself first and, but I have kids. This is ridiculous. Think a little bit, which was another aspect of what came up, is critical thinking. We often, when we are stressed, when we have no control over our breath, over our nervous system, where we're not taking care of this body mind, we will go into the most ridiculous excuses. So my stories are always, many, many years I sat in a store. It was 9 years. I sat in a store giving tarot readings, and I worked in many different things, but one of them was tarot readings. And no matter what, I would have somebody who came in, and I would, to see the card that would come up, usually the star card. And that star card is always about you in the center of your own life. And inevitably, I didn't care who it was, they would say, you don't have children, so you don't understand. And I'd be like, oh my God, this is as far as the brain is able to understand its own life, because the brain is fried. It's overwhelmed. So over the years, how do I help people get to a place where they're not fried out, and they can actually stop for a moment so they can think? Because you must have met people who are just not thinking. They're just regurgitating patterns, and you see them from one person to the next. Like, you don't have kids. My favorite part of this story that I'm telling you is, you don't have kids, so you don't understand. And I still would say, it doesn't, your child is still part of you. You need to be in good condition so your child is in good standing, is able to be taken care of, learns to take care of himself. You don't deplete yourself till you're freaked out, so your child is unable to deal with their lives. And then one day, this woman came in, and it was around the same subject. And I'll give you all a second to guess what this person said. One, she said, you don't understand. You have children. And I thought, well, it doesn't matter where we are. When the brain is out to lunch, you're going to find any excuse to that actually disassembles your life. It means you're out of control and you can't gain control. You're out of control and you can't gain control. In this session, all we're doing is looking at the breath, getting it to connect to our brain, slowly repeating this. I need to breathe so I can put myself back online. That's the reason. That's the because. Why would you want to do it? Well, I can get back online. So I'm just not in automated shock. I'm not just in automated replies. And ultimately, what that does is, if I'm in automated replies, I can't have a conversation. I can't connect. And if I can't connect, well, what happens then? A great way to start a war. Yeah, great way. You can't connect. You're going to battle with people. You're going to not have any understanding of what anyone else is saying. And it's so important. This is parents to children. This is friend to friend. This is uh, children to parents. This is country to country. This is within countries. This is happening everywhere. And I think it's also because I'm putting a lot of emphasis on a fried out brain. But also, we do need to include willful blindness. And willful blindness is the incapacity to look at someone else's viewpoint, including your own. Sometimes we don't even look at where it is possible to better treat yourself. Right? This is what this whole thing's about. If I can't treat myself well, I can't get control, a handle on my body and my nervous system. How in heaven's name am I ever going to communicate with anyone else? Okay. So this is all about, the good old 60s peace, love, peace out. It would be great if we could do that, but we have to get our brains under control. So just hold your head brain, hold your gut brain, breathe, do the breathing. And we're just going to help the brain understand this. You can feel it right away. Yeah. So if you breathe in, exhale, make a nice sigh this time. Just scan your body. What just happened? I just feel so much relaxing in my chest. Doesn't have to be the same place for you. You can look for your tensions, do the breathing, and just scan. Most of us who are energy workers, we do this all the time. We're scanning all the time. But the most thing that an energy worker is guilty of, they forget to scan themselves. Energy workers tend to forget to scan themselves. So this is the day, whether you do energy, you're a mommy and you're taking care of your kids, you're a daddy taking care of the family, whatever you're doing, time to breathe and scan and see what is going on in your body. Where are you at? You're going to, with this practice, you will gain more and more healthy, nice control over these moments that are terrible, right? They're going to happen. Doesn't mean they're going to go away, but you're going to have a better way to manage them. Okay, so we're going to do a lot more of that. And I hope you enjoy that. And I would love to hear, how you're doing with it. I definitely, restarting this, seeing my life in a different way. I've worked in many different ways, but right now it's all about finding the ways to get my body to come out of shock. For me, it's because I spent many years in pain. So my body's still learning to come out of that shock. I mean, it's so incredible. Time goes by, you're working out, you're doing more and more for your body, and you see how much better the brain works. I mean, even from 3 months ago, my brain is functioning so much better. So yeah, that's something you can look at, see, is your brain functioning better? I mean, we know it's diet, exercise, breathing, some control, helping that nervous system, doing our energy treatments, doing our any of you do access body talk or different ways of just do what I mentioned today, and you will find your brain works better. You'll have a lot more clarity about where you're going in life. Now, I could even say 3 months ago, I had way more fear about where we were going in the world. And now, like, okay, whatever's going to happen, sure. But as long as I can take care of myself, I'll be able to take care of the people close to me. And then I'll be able to work things out. So that's the best we can do, the best. Okay, love you all. Have a great week. Please like, share, and subscribe. And leave your comments if you want me to work with something. I'm happy to. Hopefully you'll notice your gut brain works a little bit differently, even if it comes to what foods you're eating. That's another big focus that I've been bringing to control, is that this idea of control, I'd like to expand it to the ability for the gut brain to draw in exactly what needs to go here. The gut brain begins even before your mouth, so that your body knows exactly what you need to be taking in to nourish this body, not take in to live in overwhelm, let's say, or live in excess, or live in, oh, I've got to have some sugar because that's the only way I can manage my day. I've got to have like 5 cups of coffee because it's the only way I can manage my day. It would be really nice if our gut brains would guide us. But you need to be part of the process, right? You need to be part of it, because your gut brain will look for coffee, will look for sugar, will look for something to energize you if you're not taking the time to breathe. Yeah. If you're not taking the time to go, wait a minute, I do not need to answer. I do not need to reply to this. I just need to sit down and take care of this, then see how I will reply. And that's your gut brain. Okay, sorry, I added a lot, but yes, please let me know. And like, share, subscribe. Let's get all of this great work. And you can't see the group that's with me, but I love each and every one of these people who come and support me and support you as well. They're all here to support the planet. So I love you all. Thank you for being here, and see you next week.